also want to mention that we are recording this meeting. You know, we have to inform you of that. And then the event has a few short and sharp presentations, so we'll get into that in a minute. And in between, we'll have a break at 10:30. And then we have some lucky draw prizes at the end as well. So let me introduce our first speaker. Our first speaker is Mr. Edmore Taruvinga. He is a seasoned information security risk and governance professional. He has over 18 years of experience in the industry. He started out as a systems developer for a prominent Zimbabwean bank, but then his experience stretches across banking, energy, freight, aviation, the public sector, investment and asset management as well. He has a passion for continuous learning and development. He holds an MBA degree, and I must tell you, Edmore has lots of abbreviations after his name, so he can tell you all about that. He's got an LLB degree, a Bachelor's of Business and Business Studies and Computing Science, and a host of other professional certifications. He holds the CISA and CISM ISACA certification, as well as the ISAP and ISMP professional designation from the ISACA South Africa chapter, which we will tell you about in a bit. And he also is a certified internal auditor and a CRMA. He has been a continuous member of ISACA since 2007 and on the board of directors since May this year. And he has contributed significantly to the chapter during this time. So without further ado, Edmore, I'll hand over to you. You're welcome to share your screen.
All right, thanks Arlene, and much appreciated for that introduction. Good morning, colleagues. Good morning to our delegates. Like Arlene said, my name is Edmore. I don't think I will go into detail about myself. It's already been said. And also, I'm cognizant of the fact that today it's not about myself, but it is about you, our delegates. It is about ISACA giving back to the community. So I will go straight into my presentation today. But just before that, I just want to reiterate what Arlene said, the fact that we are very passionate, and today marks a very important day in our calendar. We are joining hands with other like-minded individuals and like-minded professionals, like-minded organizations, you know, in contributing to society's development. We are not going to stand by the wayside and be the armchair critic of the strongman and say government is not doing this or that. We are going to enter the arena ourselves, you know, and dance in the arena. We are going to sing in the arena. We know that though our voice may be small, but there are those who are saying, the choir sings beautifully if it's blended with his voice. So we're indeed going to make our contribution count. We're going to make our voice count. Without further ado, let me go into my presentation. I am going to now share it. I hope you can see my presentation now. Arlene, can you just confirm if you can see my presentation?
Yes, Edmore, you can just go to the slideshow, but we can see your presentation. Thank you.
All right, let me go to them. Just a moment. All right, thank you, colleagues. So I will be talking about the Cybergen Scholarship and the Mentorship Program. But perhaps before I do that, let me just briefly explain what we mean by the Cybergen Scholarship, because I think it's very important that we don't create mystery in the heads of our delegates. So we are cognizant of the fact that we are living in an era of rapid and exponential growth of the cyber ecosystem, in which we have a lot of diverse participants that are continually interacting with each other for various purposes. And we are also living in a global economy that is predominantly cyber-driven. And we are seeing a trend where even children, they are obtaining a cyber footprint well before they are born. And they are learning to click even before they can crawl. And for some, you find that they are learning, coding as part of their earliest cognitive development. So it goes without saying that we are now living in the cyber generation. And it is against this background that we have decided to brand ISACA's scholarship program, the Cybergen scholarship program. So I just wanted to clear this bit so that, there isn't any mystery in our heads, but that's where we are coming from with this name. We are excited about these programs. And just in terms of the scholarship program, the main purpose of this program is to provide financial assistance to deserving students or to recent graduates with strong academic performance, but all come from financially disadvantaged backgrounds, and they wish to pursue any of the cyber suite of careers. So these are the people that we will target with this scholarship program. And we have broken it down into two headline programs. So the one part is what we will call the Cybergen Professional Education Scholarship. And then there is also the Cybergen Academic Scholarship. And that also has got, two components or two variants. The one is the partial Cybergen Academic Scholarship, and then the other is the full Cybergen Academic Scholarship. So I shall now go into detail about each and every one of these programs in a while. Just to start off with, the Cybergen Professional Education Scholarship. This scholarship targets people or recent graduates who are financially disadvantaged, but they have excelled in their studies, who wish to write any of the ISACA sponsored or any of the ISACA certifications. So we are talking CISM, we are talking CRISC, CGET, CDPSE, and CXP. So if we have recent graduates who are aiming to write any of these, but they are obviously financially disadvantaged, and it can be proven, just to help them to quickly get noticed in the job market, we would then come in and provide some assistance to some of the students, so some of the recent graduates. Like I said, we may not be able to help everyone, but even those few that we are going to help, as we grow this program, it is going to make a significant difference, in society. We are cognizant of the fact that this is an area that is highly short-staffed. Sorry, there is a critical shortage of skills in this area. So that will also be our own contribution towards, improving the skill set in this area. So just by way of summary, there is a few rules that will apply. Obviously, you will need to visit our websites, our social media pages. You will need to contact us to get more details. But here, I just wanted to spotlight a few of the important rules. So one of those would be that you need to have, you need to exhibit a strong academic performance in the region of the first class or second class passes. I know there's various ways in which this is referred to, but we're just saying that you need to have excelled in your studies. And we also need proof of participation in ISACA's mentorship program or enrollment there too. I will talk more about this mentorship program, but for now it suffices to say that you know, it will help a lot if you can already prove that you have been participating in this mentorship program. And of course, you will need to have proven financial need, and also and applicants who show proof of participation in ISACA's regional and chapter events will also be given preference. So the idea behind this is we want, our recent graduates, we want our students to be highly engaged, with us, so that, we know that the more you engage, the more you learn, so we don't want to, end up sponsoring people who don't have enough interest. Hence why we are saying that we prefer that you participate. And then previous ISACA student membership or current recent graduate membership provides an advantage. So there is a membership life cycle that my colleague Mohammed is going to speak more to, but basically the first and most basic level of membership would be the student membership, which is open to the students at tertiary institutions. So if you have shown, if you have previous membership as a student and as a recent graduate, that also counts a lot. Because for us, it also shows that you are interested and passionate about what ISACA stands for. And then in terms of the application procedures, again, this is just a high-level summary. And, you can always contact us for more details once, we have launched these programs or we have opened applications. But we would expect people to submit an application plus the following minimum information, which obviously is subject to change at ISACA's discretion. So one of those, because we are targeting recent graduates, one of those things would be a degree certificate, a copy thereof, and copies of dated documents. We will need a mentor's recommendation letter or reference letter from a member of another professional body with which we have an MOU. We have MOUs with a number of professional organizations such as the IIA and the ITIL and so forth. So if you are affiliated to some of these organizations, you can also, obtain a letter of reference from them, and then we can be able to consider that application. And then obviously you need to submit the proof of income of the parents, and that could be in the way of pay slips or affidavits, depending on whether somebody is self-employed or unemployed. And then also the reference letter from your previous university will be quite essential, and proof of professional or recent graduate membership where this is available. And then there will be a chapter consent form. So the application forms, these we will provide in due course when we open this program. But at this point, it suffices that you just know the rules and the application procedures. So that's for the Professional Education Scholarship, the Cybergen Professional Education Scholarship. And now, moving along, there is what we call the Partial Cybergen Academic Scholarship. So this is part of the academic scholarship leg of our Cybergen scholarships. So there is what we call the Partial Cybergen Academic Scholarship, which targets assisting qualifying final year students who are financially disadvantaged by providing tuition requirements for a single year. So if you are in final year or you are doing a postgrad, which is a one-year program, this is the kind of program that you could look to, if you are in the category of a financially disadvantaged person who needs the financial assistance. So again, there is a summary of rules that we have provided, chiefly the fact that students must be currently enrolled in a participating tertiary institution for the approved program of study. So participants in tertiary institution, really, we are talking about the universities in this country. We will be able to consider, your application and the approved programs of study. Now, here there is various programs, but you are welcome to contact our office, to engage with us on our social media platforms to get more details about this. But we are draw membership from people that start various programs, business studies, internal audit, IT, engineering. We draw membership from a diverse set of programs as long as you wish to, pursue a career in cybersecurity, or the cyber suite of careers which are varied. We can be able to offer assistance. Then we need proof of strong academic performance. If you are still in your final year, obviously that can come by way of a transcript, but if you are in your postgrad, I think there will be some copy of your first qualification. And we will again need a testimonial or a character reference from the university. This is very important because we also need to get a sense of, the repute of some of the people that we will be sponsoring. So again, we will need proven financial need as one of the things that we look at, and proof of membership to ISACA student groups where available will also provide applicants with an added advantage. This topic of ISACA student groups, perhaps I may not have covered it in detail in this presentation, but we do expect, students from our tertiary institutions to become organized, and particularly those that wish to pursue this cyber suite of careers. It will be to their advantage if they can come together in some groups that can become recognized by ISACA, and they can then engage among themselves. They can engage also with the professional body. And we can assist by giving tips of what they can cover, because we don't want groups that become there just to occupy space, and it becomes more of a crown that you belong to a group. We want groups that are going to engage. We want groups that are going to provide a learning opportunity to the people that become members of those groups. And this doesn't cost anything. It just costs your time. Largely to belong to a student group. So I want to encourage, from all universities, from all tertiary institutions, that you can form these student groups that can become the avenue through which you engage, with us as a professional body, and you engage amongst yourselves. And we would even want or wish to see a situation where groups from, various universities can interact with each other, have debates and so on. But like I said, we are willing to provide tips around this on how these groups can become meaningful. And having said that, the other thing that we will require is the applicants who show proof of participation in ISACA's chapter or regional events will be given a preference. Again, this just demonstrates that we want to create this culture of engagement, because once we become highly engaged, then we learn more, along the way. So that's why you will see that in every program we are emphasizing this engagement point. And then in terms of the application procedures, again, the submission of an application plus the following minimum information, which is subject to change at ISACA's discretion. So that could be by way of certified copy of your results, if you're in final year, or a certified copy of your first qualification, your identity documents, your proof of income for the parents, reference letter from the university, proof of ISACA student membership, or membership to ISACA student groups where that is available, and a few other things in the chapter consent form. So all these we will require so that we can be able to consider an application for this type of scholarship. And moving along, the other scholarship that we are intending to offer is called the Full Cybergen Academic Scholarship. This one will target qualifying undergraduate students who are financially disadvantaged by covering their tuition requirements for the duration of their approved program of study. Obviously, they have to continue to satisfy the requirements of the program, chiefly the fact that they have to continue to pass their courses, because we won't pay for the courses that are failed. So I think that's quite critical that we pointed out at this stage. And then the other summary of rules would be that obviously there has to be a proof of admission or enrollment at a participating tertiary institution for an approved program of study. You must have a copy of matric results, a character reference from your high school, valid personal identification documents, proven professional need. And yeah, so that's just in summary the rules that will apply to this program. But again, you are welcome, and we invite you to continue to engage with us so that you learn more about these programs, and so that we get to know you also. I think I just need to continue to overemphasize and to underline the importance of that. And moving along, okay, so I think that's just in terms of that, and the application procedures would be similar to what you would be required to provide with the partial education scholarship. And at this point, I would like to just extend an invitation to all the members of the chapter, our members, and also our strategic partners, those that we have MOUs with, and any other organization that wishes to join hands with us, that wishes to contribute to this scholarship fund, to contact us at the detail that I've provided, which is academic relations at isaca.org.za and also info@isaca.za. So you will be able to see a lot of details around this. The more you engage with us on our social media pages, the more you interact with the professional body at our offices. So it's something that we strongly encourage that you know, our students, our recent graduates do. All right, so just in terms of the scholarship program, that's what I wanted to share today. Obviously, like I said, please do contact us, do get in touch if you want to learn more about this. You will also be able to see when we have opened it up. We intend to do this starting from January next year. So you should be able to, if you interact with us more, you should be able to see some of the adverts, but we'll post on all our platforms. And just to move on now, let me just speak briefly about our mentorship program that we will be launching. We are going to start in November, but the purpose of this program is that we want to leverage the knowledge and the skills and the experience of our members and our strategic partners. One, to provide guidance and support to aspiring or new entrants into this industry, and even existing members who want these services, so that we support them and that they will be able to effectively help the organizations to better govern today's digital systems and tomorrow's emerging technologies. So that's one of the chief reasons why we are introducing this mentorship program. The other reason is purely to accelerate growth and leadership development of both mentees and also the mentors. I just want to, maybe perhaps I could use an example here. I normally want to refer to mentorship as a career GPS, and if you can imagine, supposing you want to go to a place and you're not very familiar with that place, chances are you might find yourself in some dark alleys where you can be mugged. And but even if that were not so, you might find that you might take the longest route to get to where you want. And but if you have a GPS, for those that have used the GPS, I think you know what it does. It always looks for the shortest route for you to get to the place, and in the process, you save a lot of things. You save on fuel, you save on wear and tear, obviously, of your vehicle if you have one, but also you get there quicker. So those are some of the chief benefits if you had a GPS. And in the context of a career, there is a GPS as well. So if you can have a mentor, or if you can join a mentorship program, you find that your development goes a lot quicker, because now they are experienced heads that will say, no, if you want to go there, this is the route. And in this, you know, career maze, you also don't want to end up in the dark alleys, you know, that will lead to nowhere. So I think I can't overemphasize on this. I can provide an example. I was reading a book by Taruvinga. He was already at the time a very you know, prominent or let me rather say successful person. But when he joined IBM, he had some mentors that surrounded him. You know, he went through an intensive, you know, mentorship program, which helped him to quickly climb the corporate ladder within IBM. You know, and these people later on would contribute to his book, the Edmore. So I just want to emphasize the importance of this. Mentorship is not just for the new colleagues that are joining. It is also for each and every one of us, because you can always benefit from an experienced hand. You can always benefit from the experience of another person. Hence, we need to find and utilize these opportunities. To our mentors, I like to quote this saying by Albert Habab, who once said that the teacher is the one who gets the most, the teacher is the one who gets the most, sorry for that. Yeah, who say the teacher is the one who gets the most out of any, who gets the most lessons, and the true teacher is the learner. So in other words, as you hold the hands of fellow professionals, part of the things that will happen is that there's a lot of knowledge that is going to rub off you. You will learn a lot of communication skills. I often, you know, sometimes when my little kids, for example, they ask me some very difficult questions, and when you are trying to teach them, I think you end up, you know, your development in terms of learning to communicate, it's just phenomenal, because you have to learn how you can get through to different audiences. And for that reason, I would say that, you know, there's a lot of benefits to our mentors, and we invite, you know, our members to really join this program so that we can help one another. The other reason that we are launching this mentorship program is obviously for the networking opportunities with like-minded professionals. So if you want to be wise, you need to sit among the council of wise people. And with this program, we know that there's lots of people that are going to be joining us, people that have experience, people that have a lot of wisdom. And this is something that you can freely obtain just by investing your time. So we encourage you to be part of this program. I like also to quote this popular African proverb, which says that if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go together. So that's why we are saying that let's come together, you know, let's become a huge network of professionals, you know, and join this mentorship program, which will really help us with a lot of things. Like I said, with the Mtetonyati, you know, the people that mentored him, some of them actually contributed to his book, and you can just see how important these networks become. And just to emphasize, this is a voluntary program for both our mentors and the mentees. So it's not something that we force on people, but it's about passion. It's about wanting to live a life of significance. It's about wanting to outlive yourself and continuing to live in the hearts of the people that are going to remain long after you're no longer on the scene. And then in terms of the mentorship program, we target, obviously, like I said, new people in the industry, but we also are open to experienced people who want to join. We will hold a joint session, one joint session per month, every third Saturday of the month. So these programs, they will be held during weekends. And we are targeting at this point the third Saturday of every month. And we are starting this November. In December, obviously, for reasons of the festivities in that month, we are not going to have any meeting. But after that, then we'll then resume. The joint sessions, we'll conduct them through Zoom. I think to the greatest extent possible. Once in a while, we may, perhaps if we just want to have fun, just meet facially, we might then at some stage have a face-to-face event, but usually these will be through Zoom. And there's a lot of learning that is going to happen. And to attend these sessions, it will just be like how you attended today's session. You have to register, obviously, for the event itself, but we will also want our mentees to, permanently register with us so that we have them in our database. I think I mentioned earlier on that we will also be providing, letters of recommendations where required for employment purposes, for other things, because we might find that another institution, that is offering a scholarship program also wants a reference from a mentor. So that's why we'll need this database so that we can be able to then see who is participating and assist as necessary. And these reference letters, they can also be provided to the mentors themselves if you just want confirmation that you participate in such programs of giving back to the community. We can then also do that. So the other thing that I want to mention with this is that besides these virtual sessions, it is our intention, at a later stage to then start pairing people according to their areas of interest, so if you're into IT auditing, you might find that if we have got a mentor in that space, who will then, or mentors in that space who will then pair you with people in that space. If you're into networking and so on. So over time, we will then be able to do that. But this pairing will not replace these monthly events. The pairing is just so that you can have more binary type discussions, so that it can be more targeted at your needs as well. So I think this is just how to outline, the house rules of how this is going to work in practice. And then in terms of the registration, I think there I'm just mentioning in brief what we will require, just your name and surname, your occupation, whether you are a student, just for our database to know how many students are we, mentoring and so on. And then we also need to know your fields of interest, obviously for pairing purposes at a later stage, so that we can know if you have questions, we know who to direct you to. And also we want to know what you hope to achieve from the program. It's optional, but if you can provide us with that, we appreciate it. And the reasons why you want to mentor, if it's for the mentors, that would be appreciated as well, but it's optional also. And another thing is that, so yes, we may have topics that we will just, come up with from our side and then say, this week we are discussing this, and but we welcome, a situation where our mentees will communicate the topics that they want covered to us, and then we will then look for the people to present on those topics. So it will be a very good opportunity to get an understanding of some of those areas that may be giving you challenges. You just have to direct them to us, and then we will connect with the right individuals who are experienced in those areas to come and share in these mentorship sessions. And we hope to make every material that is shared during these sessions available, because the idea is that we learn and grow, and we share resources. So, so for us, we are really creating a culture of sharing. We want to create a culture which the storm of time cannot even destroy. And hence, we, as Arlene mentioned at the beginning, that this thing, it's about passion. If you're not passionate at times, it's difficult to to run this program. So for us at ISACA, we are very passionate, and we know the delegates that are here, you are also passionate, and you are going to spread this message, you're going to evangelize it, you are going to tell others. And like Arlene said, we would like you to, increase the traffic of this message on social media, on any platform that you have access to, so that, the greatest number of people can get help and excel in whatever they have to do in their lives. I would like at this point to hand back control to our MC. This is all I had this morning, but you are welcome to contact us at any point to get more details. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Edmore. That was jam-packed, lots of information. I'm sure there are lots of questions. So I just want to encourage the delegates to post their questions on the chat, or if you are feeling brave, you are welcome to unmute yourself or raise your hand, and then we can unmute you and you can ask your question to Edmore. Okay, so Edmore, just to mention a few things, I love the way you said that the mentorship is like a career GPS. That's a wonderful analogy. Thank you so much for your time and your preparation for today. There's one question in the chat from Louise Smith. Can potential candidates also aim to write the CISA exam as part of the Cybergen Education Scholarship? CISA wasn't listed in the presentation.
I guess it was an omission. Yes, indeed. You can write the CISA exam. Anything that, any certification that is offered by ISACA, the scholarship program will be able to finance that.
Thank you, Edmore. Any other questions for Edmore today? I see we have 44 participants online. I also just want to remind you to keep going on social media. So far, we've only had one post. So you need to use the hashtag ISACA Community Day. You can post a selfie of yourself. You can post a picture of your screen. Send us a picture of what you're drinking, what you're doing under the table, your shoes, anything. So let's get the activity going. That's the purpose of today, is to show ISACA International and all the chapters what the South Africa chapter is doing. If there's no other questions for Edmore, then we'll move over to the next point on the agenda, which is to introduce the Academic Relations and Education Committee. So I'll just ask the committee to switch on their cameras, and then they can introduce themselves one by one.
Thanks, Arlene. My name is Edmore. I'm a member of the Academic Relations and Education Committee. I think now you already know me from the presentation, and I think Arlene did a good job earlier on. So like I said, I don't think I'm going to share a lot about myself. I do work for the Public Investment Corporation at the moment. So I think that's the only thing that perhaps Arlene did not mention at that point, but I chair the Committee for Academic Relations and Education.
Thank you, Edmore. Jerusha, would you like to go next?
Sure, thank you. Good day to all the colleagues and to all our attendees attending online. It's so lovely to share this day with you. And as Arlene has said, my name is Jerusha. I'm not a director on the committee, but I do volunteer. And I look forward to giving you some tips a bit later. I do currently work in higher education. I have a legal and corporate background. And yes, that's just a little bit about me. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerusha. Muvhango, I think you're next on my screen. So welcome.
Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for gracing this day. My name is Muvhango, Livhusha. I'm a board of director for ISACA, responsible for certification and training. I currently work at CIPC, where I'm an audit manager. So basically, I think most of the things about my profile, you'll actually hear it when I basically present in the, I think around 10. So yeah, so I'm very looking forward to be engaging with you guys. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Dr. Cameron, you're on mute. There we go.
Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Cameron Modisane. Currently I'm a board member for ISACA, South Africa. I'm also currently an audit manager for the Audit General of South Africa and also a supervisor and examiner for the University of South Africa. So I'm looking forward to engaging with you in the College of Accounting Sciences. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I hope we got a nice picture of the committee. I'd now like to invite the board members to also show their cameras so that we can introduce the board of directors. Thank you very much to the Academic Relations and Education Committee. And oh, for those of you who joined late, my name is Arlene-Lynn Volmink, and I'm the president of the ISACA South Africa chapter. So I see some board members online. Let me just have a look again. I think I saw Kenneth, Mohammed, Khabo. I know I'm putting you on the spot. I'll just give them a minute. So the Board of Directors of the ISACA South Africa chapter, as well as the Academic and Relations Committee, are all volunteers. We do this out of passion and out of giving back to the community. We were inaugurated as a board in May this year. And so we've never actually had a strategy session in person, but that's coming up. We've only engaged online, given our current scenario. But I think that we've been very effective in terms of all the activities and initiatives to date. Here we go. Good morning.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mohammed Osman. I'm the Marketing and Membership Director for ISACA South Africa. And I'm looking forward for the rest of today's interaction and looking forward to getting to know a little bit of everybody.
Thanks, Mohammed. Khabo, would you like to just introduce yourself? On the spot, I'm sorry. I'm not sure if the sound is on, if the others can hear the sound, but I don't hear the sound. Okay. And Kenneth, if you just want to maybe introduce yourself. Okay, we'll come back to Kenneth a little later. I saw him online. But thank you very much to everyone for showing your cameras. We can switch cameras off again. So yeah, I just want to remind you about the social media engagement. Keep the activities going because this is how ISACA Community Day monitors our involvement and our activities as a chapter. I see that the Melbourne chapter is in the lead with their social media engagement. So yeah, take a selfie, like, post, share as much as you can. At this point, I'd then just like to hand over to Muvhango, who is our Certifications and Training Director on the board. He is going to tell us about the ISACA certifications and the career pathways and career options. And, you know, Muvhango mentioned the mentorship program. So whether you are a practicing professional and you've been doing this for a number of years, you know, it's always good to know about the certifications and the options, whether it is as a mentee or as a mentor or a potential mentee or mentor. So at this point, I'll hand over to Muvhango. Let me just, he's introduced himself now, but just a little bit more. He holds an MBA degree. He has a Bachelor of Science Honours in Computer Science and a BSc degree in Mathematics as well, majoring in Mathematics. He is CISA certified. In 2019, he was awarded with the Teach Zororo Excellence Award for his contribution to the IT profession in South Africa and to the ISACA South Africa chapter as Pretoria Regional Coordinator volunteer. He is a manager in IT audit at the Companies and Intellectual Property Commission, CIPC, with over 10 years extensive work experience in IT audit, project assurance, application control, cybersecurity, general controls. He's served as a treasurer at the Black Management Forum, Soweto region. He's also served on the KPMG Corporate Social Initiative Committee and as secretary and head of youth development in Chiawelo Youth Forum. He also previously worked as a consultant at one of the Big Four firms. So on that note, I will hand over to Muvhango. Muvhango, I think your sound, I don't hear your sound. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I hear you now, and then you just need to reshare your screen. Thank you.
Okay. So, sure. There's something that I pressed here, so trying to. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, you can just go to the slideshow and then, but we do see your screen and we can hear you clearly. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for today's Community Day. So basically what I'm going to cover in my presentation, I'll actually be looking at certifications and career path that ISACA offers. So just to start, so in terms of certifications that ISACA basically has, so I've actually listed here. So there is CISA, which is obviously famous one, which is Certified Information System Audit. There's CISM, which is Certified Information Security Manager, and C-Guide, which is Certified in Governance of Enterprise IT, and C-Risk, which is the Certified in Risk and Information Security System Control, and the recent one, which is basically CSX, they call it CS practitioner, CSP. So in these kind of certifications, so if basically one wants to basically follow a career in IT governance, risk assessment, or system audit and security, so these are basically sort of different certifications that one can actually basically try and take. So just to give a very simple high-level background in terms of ISACA. So ISACA was basically established back in 1967 in order to basically address the issue around computer system audits. And currently ISACA now has got over 200 membership chapters, over 185 countries with over 140,000 members. So it is actually indeed a very big organization. So in terms of CISA certifications, it basically, the exam basically, or when one gets to be assessed, it covers actually 5 different domains which I've listed here, where you look at the process of auditing of information system, governance and management of IT, the information system acquisition, development, implementation, information system operation, maintenance and service management, and protection of information assets. And for one to basically pass these exams, you have to basically get a score of 140 out of 800. And as you can actually see from the slide, that each domain, it is actually divided into different percentage, from 21% from the first one, and then where you, from governance 16%, 18%, but overall, for one to pass, you basically need to get 450 out of 800 in terms of your scoring. Okay, so then the second certification is actually CISM, which basically is divided into 4 different domains, which is information security governance, information risk management compliance, information security program development and management, and information security management. So for those that are basically already aware, obviously, of information security, they will actually pick it up that no, most of these domains are basically covered in your best practice, like your ISO 27000. So, and then for one to basically pass exams, so you're basically going to be assessed along this line. So you need to basically have an understanding, and you score, this is a very more or less the same score that you get for CISA, which is 150 out of 800 in terms of the scoring skills that they use. Then the C guide also, sorry. Sorry, because I'm also listed as a co-host, so some of the things just keeps on popping up here while I'm busy. So the C guide also, it is basically made up of obviously 5 domains, which is IT governance, framework, strategic management, benefits realization, risk optimization, and resource optimization. And the very same score of 150 out of 800, it is also applicable here in order for one to do well and also pass. So as you have seen, I've also listed the percentage or a fraction obviously of each and every domain that gets assessed. Then in terms obviously of C risk, it is actually divided into 4 domains, which basically looks at risk identifications, where basically the process obviously of identifying risk within organizations, and risk assessment, how risk gets assessed, risk response and mitigation, how basically the organizations or as a risk practitioner, you can actually respond to basically various risks within the organization, and risk control and also monitoring. So it actually covers all these domains, which are basically also, in this case, divided in terms obviously of the percentage of the exams. So in terms of the scoring, you still have to get 450 out of 800 in order to pass these exams. Then in terms of cybersecurity certifications, it also covers 5 controls, obviously, of cybersecurity, which is basically is to identify, you need to basically be able to have enough knowledge or in terms of identifying any issues relating to cybersecurity and also protecting the environment of the organization and able to have enough knowledge to detect any cybersecurity issues and also how to respond to any attacks or issues that can be posed by cybersecurity, and also to have a good knowledge and understanding, obviously, of recovery when you, for example, then if things that were not actually picked up, how do you then basically ensure that the organization actually recovers? So in terms of this, it is also divided into these kind of percentages you actually see, but it actually varies. It's not actually the exact percentage as other ones. Then, yeah, basically in terms of the scourge, it is actually still the same. So then once basically, okay, obviously one can actually be doing those and write those certifications. So what are the possible career options that one actually has once you basically interested in actually acquiring those certifications? In terms of CISA, you can be an IT auditor, or it can be an information assurance within the organization, or just be a security auditor where you basically focus on security issues. And in terms of the work environment, you can work for an audit firm, a financial service organization, the government institution, telecommunication, any different organization, because you know that in terms of a self-compliance, it can either be King for in this organization, in this country, or also in terms of the SOX, because other organizations, they have to comply with the international best practices. So in IT audit or CISA, it's actually very important in addressing critical controls or ensuring that the organization complies, and also protect themselves against any attacks within the areas of work. So for CISM, or it can be information security manager, senior information security manager, but obviously that one comes with actual experience, or it can also be a director in information cybersecurity of chief security officer, or one can also be a consultant in various consulting firms, and also provide trainings. In terms of C-Guide, so C-Guide basically, it offers one with skills to be governance skills in IT. So one can basically pursue a career as a senior or executive level jobs, which include your chief information security officer, chief risk assurance officer or chief risk officer, and chief information officer, and also chief technology officer. Those are some of the roles in a high level that one can basically pursue in terms of a C-Guide. So when it comes to C-Risk, one can basically pursue career as a security operational analyst, risk specialist, security engineer, security architecture, or even IT auditor in a more senior level. And in terms of cybersecurity, so the possible careers include security analyst, senior security analysts, incident responders, incident handlers. So within the information security area. So basically, as one climb the ladder with regard to cybersecurity, they can actually move more into a senior position in IT security or IT security management roles. So I think in terms of yourself, the career path, this is basically what I have. But what I've actually covered. So if there's, but obviously in terms of the most careers that most auditors actually follows, you find that it's actually IT audit, but there's actually more careers that one can actually follow when it comes to certifications that ISACA basically provides. So it's not just IT audit, but you can actually basically do various work from security space. You can also advise organizations from IT perspectives, and also work, obviously, going forward. If, for example, you're more experienced, it can also include sitting in various audit committees like your audit committee or risk committees. So these are some of the careers that one, if you basically have these certifications, you can actually work yourself towards. But in terms obviously of making sure that you basically pass, then I've actually indicated that it's actually you need to get about 450 score, and then after that, so it does not end there. So when one gets to be certified, one has to basically have to have enough experience when it comes to the area of work. For example, for CISA, so you have to basically have a 5-year experience, and then obviously your qualifications as they also play a part in order to ensure that you get actually accredited in terms obviously of getting your certifications. And in this kind of process, for those that are basically not aware, it has to be signed off by someone who's already basically certified. It can actually be your manager or anyone who is actually certified, who are certified or CISM certified, service certified, or even CIGAR certified by who's actually in good standing. So in a nutshell, these are basically possible career paths and brief explanation in terms of what to expect if one actually go on and basically try and register to actually participate or write this exam. So the most important thing is to make sure that when one prepares, you basically balance out in terms of those different domains that are basically assessed, in not just to basically do well in one domain and not do well in other domains. So you basically need to ensure that you basically cover or you are well equipped all across or different domains that gets actually to be assessed. So I think if basically there's any other question, maybe, yeah, because I think that my presentation, it's basically ends here. So I don't know if maybe there's any other question that they will want to ask regarding the certifications, different certifications and career path.
Thank you so much, Muvhango, for your presentation today. It was very informative. Are there any questions for Muvhango? Anyone brave enough to unmute themselves and ask a question? If you don't want to unmute yourself, you're welcome to put your question in the chat.
Arlene, may I ask Muvhango a question, please?
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you. Muvhango, thank you so much for taking us through the different accreditations and qualifications. We've got a lot of young people online today. Could you perhaps talk them through realistically the expectation of being well equipped or being adequately prepared in terms of time to do these exams? Because there's nothing worse than setting yourself up for failure. Could you maybe speak to that? Thank you.
Okay, no, thank you very much. So in terms of these exams, so it is very important that when one wants to participate or to write this exam, to give yourself enough time in terms of preparation. So basically what we also have as ISACA SA, we also run the training workshop, which are called preparatory workshops, where any candidate who wants to participate or want to basically take part in the exam can basically attend, where they can actually get to ask questions to actually understand the material better. But the other most important thing when it comes to these kind of exams, it's not one of those exams where one can just go and write like any exams. So it is very important that one also acquires experience or use your experience. But obviously there are those ones that will want, as these students, will want maybe to partake or take part in the exams without experience. But it's actually very important that one basically give themselves enough time to prepare for these exams. But in a more standard way, we can say that if, for example, one maybe want to write CISA exam, it's actually very important that at least you give yourself at least 3 months, obviously, of preparing for the exam. So that's basically going through the study manual. So you need to basically acquire or buy a study manual from ISACA, straight from ISACA. And if other exams like your CISA or CRX, you find that they basically provide also the solution database that will actually assist you in order to prepare for the exam. It does not necessarily mean that when you basically going through the database, you're going through the very same question that will basically be asked, but it actually prepares you as it will basically gives you different scenarios if in case you're getting the question wrong, but it prepares you very well for the exam. So in order to basically prepare, so it's not just a matter of you just get a study material and also start preparing. So there's a lot of support that you can get from us, which is also a preparatory workshops. You can also buy the solution manual, the standard, the solution database. And also the other important thing, as I've indicated, is actually it's time. And if you've got maybe access to any mentor, it is also very important that you basically try and utilize that. Then maybe they can basically provide an advice on how to tackle or to actually take part in this kind of exam. But it is not an exam, obviously, if you can just be realistic, that one can just decide to go and take without proper preparation, because it's not like one of those exams where, you know, questions are just not questions that will just come all the time. So, and also the other important thing, obviously, when one prepares for these exams, you need to basically take note. I think now the questions in like CISA, I think they've been reduced to, if I'm not mistaken, 250, to basically prepare yourself, to pace yourself well when it comes to completing your exam on time. And also because you don't want to go there to write an exam, but you basically fail because you do not complete all the questions. So it is actually a whole lot of process involved. So you basically have to give yourself enough time basically acquire enough materials that you can actually use, but and also give yourself time. I would say 3 months at least, if someone is basically putting in a good study hours, it can be basically good enough to basically prepare yourself for this exam. But just like I've indicated, that these exams, even if we go through those solution database, it does not necessarily mean that you're going to get the very same question. So you need to basically be open-minded, and you need to use the study materials and the experience that we have, and also those solution database to basically acquire necessary skills that will help you to pass those exams. So it shouldn't be, I'm basically going to memorize all these solution questions, the study materials, and I'll be able to pass. So you need to basically be an objective, critical thinker when it comes to responding to questions. And also, if you basically are exposed to, like if you've got experience, and also you are also exposed to, I would say, if maybe you're exposed to certain best practice and also how organization operate. So you just basically have to use what you have learned and also see if it's actually in relations to, if it's applicable to basically where you are operating, or with what information that we have. Because obviously as students, you might find that you don't have necessary experience that one has, but to be honest, I think if you can actually give yourself time, acquire necessary resources, and also go through various channels, then you should be able to prepare yourself fairly well, and you know, and get enough confidence. Hopefully, by the time you write exams, you should be able to do well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Muvhango. I think there's quite a few questions. So before we get into the rest of the questions, I think I just want to mention that there are 2 upcoming workshops, and we have 1 trainer online. So for the CISA exam preparation training, I'd like to just invite our trainer, Zulfika Ali, to just share when it's happening, you know, the times and the format and so forth. Zulfika?
Good morning, everybody. Can I just confirm that everybody can hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
And my camera's on, eh?
Correct, yes.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Thank you, Arlene, for allowing me just to give a little bit of an overview of the training that's upcoming. Firstly, congratulations to ISACA South Africa. Once again, a very good initiative to the Board of Directors. I was involved last year with the Cape Town Science Centre visit, so well done. I think given the circumstances, it's a great initiative, and I look forward to the ones where we will once again physically go out to the site and meet each other in person. So yeah, just quickly in introduction, Zulfika Ali. I have about 20 years experience in IT auditing. Education is something that's very close to my heart. I'd like to see myself contributing more in that space going forward. And yes, I'm in the process of being accredited as a trainer for ISACA and specifically to conduct the CISA training for the South African chapter. So I would encourage everybody that is interested to join the over 150,000 CISA holders already internationally, validate your expertise and leverage these opportunities to progress your career. Basically, the training will be covering the 5 domains that is part of the CISA work areas. And the training takes place over the 19th to the 21st of November. We are running half-day workshops. It's the first time that this kind of training is happening online. So we'll be conducting it via Zoom with breaks. There will be breaks included as well over those 3 sessions. So 9 to 1:30 on the 19th, 20th, and 21st of November using the Zoom platform. And yes, the course will cover the 5 domains. There will be an opportunity to go through some sample questions. And I think very importantly for those that are interested, there will be an opportunity to create a network with the potential exam takers, and these networks can then be used as a support structure for yourselves, with myself being the trainer. And in this way, we can contribute and hopefully work towards a very successful outcome for the CISA exam. Thank you, Arlene.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Zulfika. Thank you, Muvhango. There's just one question around, you know, what qualifications do you need to write the exam? And also a question around, do you need work experience prior to writing the exam? So Zulfika, Muvhango, I don't know if you can answer those questions. Muvhango, if you're comfortable.
Okay. I think I've explained it before. So in terms of obviously to write exam, so in terms of writing exam, so basically to write an exam, it needs to, those informations like in terms of qualifications, there is no need for you to disclose them. So the only part where you disclose it, it's if, for example, you have passed the exam, so you need to be certified. So obviously you need to basically have your qualification IT and 5 years experience. But if, for example, you've got like your master's and also better qualifications, so then in terms of your 5-year work experience is going to basically be reduced based obviously on the qualification that you have. But it's 5 years of work experience, and you need to have, I think, like it can either be your information systems, computer science, become IT, so it's also recognized. So yeah, I think that's basically what you need. But if maybe Zofika wants to add, she can also add.
Thanks, Muvhango. Yeah, I think you kind of covered it, but effectively what it is if you have a 3-year or 4-year degree, that you'll be able to waiver some time of that 5 years, coupled with some work experience that will contribute to also writing off some of that 5-year experience requirement. So if you had normal auditing experience, that can be also be substituted up to a maximum of 1 year. So 1 year. So if you have, so as an example, you have a BCom IS degree and you have 1 year of, call it operational auditing, that will afford you to write off 2 years of the 5 years, which means you just need to then get 3 years of IT auditing experience.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the responses. Then I want to just check. I saw that Precious, you were unmuted earlier. Did you have a question you wanted to ask?
The question that I wanted to ask, I was answered. That is the same question that Muvhango answered it. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Precious. Perfect. Nice to hear your voice. And then Carl, you're also unmuted. Do you have a question? Koketso, Andre, I'm just looking at who is unmuted. If anyone wants to pose another question for Muvhango, let's get the conversation going. Muvhango's ready to answer. So maybe one of the questions I usually get is, you know, if you're a recent graduate, or if you are, you don't yet have 3 years working experience and a qualification, because usually you can apply for CISA if you have the waivers, you know, and you have 3 years working experience. But if you're not there yet, what do you do in the meantime? Muvhango? What should young students, recent graduates be focusing on while they're building work experience?
Oh, are you referring to the one that have already written the exams?
No. Before they write exams. So, you know, you're in your first year of work, or you've just finished university.
Okay. I think the most important thing is, I think Edmore has indicated it before, that they need to start getting involved into participating into various, obviously, ISACA initiatives. As you know, that we've got meetings where, if in an ideal environment, so we'll be meeting in various regional chapters. So to basically start getting involved at that area, just basically to have an understanding and also accumulating, obviously, experience, and also sharing through those that have actual expertise. So I think that's another way of them trying to get involved. And obviously they can also be, they can actually volunteer and participate within actually ISACA. And also there's so many resources that ISACA provide that they can basically tap on, which obviously can be on Engage, where there's webinars, and also, as I've indicated, to basically attend to get involved in ISACA. But I think the other thing, obviously, which is very important, is, yeah, so while they're accumulating the experience, so if they feel that they've enough knowledge, yeah, they can basically maybe start even to get, I think maybe the manual, just to basically try and understand exactly what is in that manual, because at times, you know, we can basically try to leave it late, but I think if maybe you can try and just basically get a mentor also, it can also assist in the process. But I think in terms of getting involved, it can actually basically help them in the long run, because they will basically be exposed to what ISACA is all about, and also to get them that relevant, up-to-date experience in terms of, obviously, through attending the various chapter initiatives, regional initiatives, to understand exactly what is happening, and that will actually equip them basically also when they start preparing or when they need to go through ISACA certifications material that they want to basically participate in.
Thank you very much, Muvhango. Thank you. I think we are on track to take a break now at 10:30, and then when we come back, we will find out more from Dr. Cameron about the Research Assistance Program and training and events. I just want to remind you to keep activity going on social media. I also want to just show you, Muvhango, if you can just show your t-shirt. We're all wearing Community Day t-shirts. Hashtag ISACA Community Day on social media. There are some lucky prizes at the end of this event. This event does qualify for CPE hours, and those points will be sent to you via email as confirmation of attending this event. And then all the presentations, the presentation Muvhango just shared, as well as Edmore's presentation and all the others today, will be sent together with the CPE confirmation email. Yeah, we're all looking good in our t-shirts, and when we have the in-person event, we will bring some t-shirts for all of you as well. So at this point, I want to encourage you to take your bathroom break, grab your cup of coffee, and get ready for the next talk, which is at 11. Please come back, because as I say, there are some really nice lucky draw prizes that will be on offer when we return. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Lucy. It appears you are sharing some of your audio with us and actually sharing your screen. If you could maybe put that on mute, thank you.
So drunk, and I just wanted to let you know when you are making the happiest, most excited man alive unfortunately.
Organization that's called ISACA. Can everyone say ISACA? ISACA. That's so soft. Say it again. ISACA. But say it so loud that my ears pain. ISACA. Yes, that's the organization. So you can see our banner over there. We are very happy that you are here today and that you travel safely. Did you travel safely on the day? So I'm going to hand over to Janelle, and Janelle's going to tell you a little bit more about what we do. We're very excited and we hope that you enjoy today, and thank you very much to Mishka and to Bertha, to Matt Moms as well.
Hi everybody, perfect. 2 minutes to tell you what ISACA does. We work with computers, we do all the funny stuff, including robots and artificial intelligence, and all the fancy stuff, and I hope we're going to learn a bit about that today.
Everybody say yay! Yay!
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Fine.
I'm good. My name is Zikona. Today I'll be your scientist. So, guys, can you do one thing for me? Raise up your right hand. Right hand. And then wave. And then repeat after me. I love science!
I love science!
To hear, that yes,
appreciate being part of it, and keep you loving every moment. Thanks. My name is Muvhango. I'm sharing at this amazing initiative today, Community Day, the Global Community Day. The reason why I volunteer is to give back. An initiative like this is giving kids less fortunate and showing opportunities that they listed and not have had before. I'm glad to be involved with this initiative.
For nothing. How do you know? Where did the picture go? Back. On.
Wonderful. So we are back. Welcome everyone, and thank you for returning. I'm so excited that you've all come back. Thank you so much. The video that you just saw was our activities from last year's Community Day. There we go. Sorry. Technology, you know how it is. That was last year's Community Day event, and the event that you are participating in today is the 2020 ISACA International Community Day, with all 241 chapters across the world participating. So up next, we have our next speaker on the agenda for this morning, Dr. Modisane. His CV is 1 page long, a full page, so I'm going to do the highlights, Dr. Cameron, if you don't mind. He's going to talk to us today about the Research Assistance Program and ISACA SA training and events. He currently works as an audit manager at the Auditor General of South Africa, based in Pretoria. He is also an external supervisor and examiner to Masters and Ph.D. students at UNISA in the College of Accounting Sciences. He's also a board of director, a member of the board of directors of ISACA South Africa, and he looks after the Pretoria region and the Pretoria region's volunteers as the regional director for Pretoria. He has extensive senior management experience in accounting, auditing, finance, project management, and strategy. He holds various qualifications, including a PhD degree in accounting, as well as being a CISA and an information systems audit professional. He is a member of CIBA, the South African Institute of Business Accountants, and he is also a member of the Institute of Directors, South Africa, IODSA. He has over 13 years experience in both the private and public sector accounting. And prior to joining the Auditor General, he worked for several years at one of the biggest audit firms in the world, PricewaterhouseCoopers, with its headquarters in London. He's served many clients in the private sector and in the public sector, including the Office of the Presidency, Transnet, COGTA, Human Settlements, and CIPSE. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Dr. Cameron. If you do have questions for him, please use the chat facility, and then also please keep your engagement going on social media. Dr. Cameron, welcome, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Arlene, for the introduction. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, hopefully you guys can see my screen.
Yes, we see your screen. Perfect.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to be talking about research assistance training and events. We're here to serve. Okay, in terms of research assistance program, the purpose of this program is to provide students in their final year of studying or those pursuing a postgraduate degree with assistance in terms of their studies. As you would know, we've got a large pool of members at ISACA, so therefore we're there to provide you with access to potential research participants. I remember when I was actually completing my PhD, I actually used ISACA members as part of my research participants. So I sent through an application in order for them to actually distribute my research questionnaire. So, and the main purpose of this drive of this research assistance also, it is about creation of knowledge and also contributing. As you would know, as a researcher, you'd be assisting in terms of creating new knowledge in order for other people to actually learn from you. And members are often, in terms of being encouraged, in terms of participating in the research, but obviously they're not actually obligated to participate in the program. And some of the rules apply in terms of if one has to make through an application. Firstly, they'll have to send through an ethical clearance form, which would have to be signed off by the university where they actually enrolled. Secondly, students pursuing careers in cybersecurity, information security, IT governance, information technology, audit, etc., will be given preference. And normally we give preference to members of ISACA in terms of assisting in terms of the research assistance program. And also applicants will have to sign a consent form in terms of giving ISACA the option to publish the research results. But obviously they're not actually obligated to actually publish those research results. Okay. Okay, and then procedures in terms of how does one actually go about applying. For example, if I'm doing my master's or I'm doing my PhD, how does one go about applying in terms of getting access to a large pool of members? At ISACA, you've got about 2.3 members, so you can actually use that to your benefit in terms of completion of your studies. Applicants who meet the eligibility criteria will have to submit an application form to academic.relations@isaca.org.za or at info@isaca.org.za. And also members can actually visit our website in terms of how does one actually go about applying, and then they'll actually get all the necessary information that they would actually need and the forms that need to be completed in order for them to be assisted in terms of their research studies. In terms of the training, ISACA is an accredited training organization. We actually offer a wide range of training programs. And also chapter trainers, we've got our accredited chapter trainers, which are experts in the cybersecurity space, IT, information technology, audit space, etc., which are often used as part of our training programs, which we actually run at ISACA. And these, and also at the same time, we normally run exam preparation workshops, such as for CISA, CISM, etc. These can either be online or in-person events. I'll tell you more about that later on in my presentation. And also we've got certification of or certificate, which is a cybersecurity Nexus Fundamentals certificate. This one, anyone can actually apply. There's no experience, there's actually no experience requirements, and also it's low cost. So anyone with an IT degree or information security degree can actually apply for this certification. And also, we normally run our pre and post conference workshops. As you would know, we have our conference next year happening in 2021, which I'm going to tell you more about it. So our ISACA conference, annual conference next year, will actually be running 2 conferences. One would be an online conference and one would be an in-person conference. Okay, the online conference will be running from the 7th to the 8th of June 2021. And the theme for that conference would be adapting in changing times. And then the in-person conference will be taking place at Emperor's Palace in Johannesburg. And the theme for the conference is prospering in changing times as well. Okay, so we encourage you to actually apply. And we normally run a sort of like a promotion or scholarship program in terms of if you're a student, you can actually attend the program for free. So if you would like to attend the program, you might just, attend our conference. You might just let us know. We normally invite people to actually apply. So we normally have that sort of scholarship to actually assist students who can't actually afford to attend our conferences in terms of actually coming to our conference. Okay. October is National Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and we normally promote our qualifications there. As you can see them, we've got a number of them, about 2, 4, 6, 8 of them, which are actually running, which are all IT based. And as you would know, Robert Mueller said that there are 2 types of organizations or companies: those that have been hacked and those that will be. Even that is emerging into one category. So during the month of October, we encourage. It's about cybersecurity awareness, and we encourage members to actually learn more about cybersecurity. Talking about cybersecurity, we're actually running an audit certificate program starting on Monday to Thursday, this coming Monday, from the 5th up to the 7th, up to the 8th of October. And we've got an international speaker. He's from Canada. I've actually been trained by him as well, John Daniel. He's actually quite good in terms of, he's an expert when it comes to cybersecurity audit space. So we encourage our members and people to actually participate in the program. Obviously, you can follow the link, or you can email us at ISACA to get more information about this program if you would like to attend. And then upcoming workshop, I saw in the chat box a number of people actually were inquiring more about the CISA exam review. We actually have a workshop running from the 19th to the 20th of November. This will be an online event which will be hosted or facilitated by Zulfikar Ali. So if you would like to participate in the program, so please make sure that you contact us or send us an email, and you follow the registration link which has been provided to you. Okay, I'll share my slides with you in order for you to get access to all this information. And then also we have our ISACA conference, our membership awards, which is actually happening on the 30th of October at the end of this month. So we've got a renowned speaker, which is Bilal Kathrada, which will be our keynote speaker, which will be talking in a topic on the rise of machines, the key to business and career success in the 4th Industrial Revolution. So those who would like to register, please make sure you register and attend with us. Just a quick summary in terms of the events that are going to be happening over the next month or so. We've got the Cybersecurity Audit Certification Program, which is running from the 5th up to the 8th of October. It is a paid event. And then you've got our monthly online webinars. The next one is actually happening on the 22nd of October. This one will be a free event. The next one will be the member awards, which is happening on the 30th of October. It's also a free event. Then you've got your CISA exam review workshop, which is happening from the 19th up to the 22nd of November. This will be a paid event. So if you'd like to get more information with regards to all these events, so please go to our website to get more details. And then also on our website, we've got a gift shop or shop in terms of to get a stock with regards to some of our inventory, in any IT equipment that we have. So please make sure you go to our online shop and see what we actually have in store. Okay, I want to share a video with you with regards to the announcements. Hopefully you guys will be able to can see.
Good day, members. For those of you,
is the sound coming out clearly, Ali?
Yes, it's clear. You can just make it.
Okay.
Good day, members. For those of you who don't know, I'm Andre Veldman, the Marketing and Events Coordinator of the ISACA South Africa chapter. The office and myself have been working so hard behind the scenes to get ourselves ready for the 2021 conferences. Coming your way from the 7th to the 8th of June, virtually, entitled Prospering in Changing Times, and then also an in-person conference coming your way from the 24th to the 25th of August at Empress Palace entitled Adapting in Changing Times. Now keep an eye on our social media pages and our Engage site, because you do not want to miss the launch of our super early bird rates. As well as, for the first time ever, we're bringing you combined packages, providing you the opportunity to gain double CPE points. Members, don't worry, you do not have to wait until 2021 to stay informed. This Cybersecurity Month, we are bringing you international trainer John Tannehill live and online for 4 days from 1 p.m. till 5 p.m. every day. So go onto our social media pages and book your ticket today. The 3rd of October is here, and that means it is Community Day, and we need your help. If you want to volunteer, we're bringing you 2 initiatives this year. It's the Cybersecurity Xpedition, and it's brought to you by our Education Committee. We urge you to go check out the agenda online. Share the news and register in advance. We are donating 10 Rand for each My Pet and Me entry we receive, which is a picture of you and your furry friend. And we are also opening our Cape Town and Johannesburg doors for food donations for our furry friends. Then lastly, but not the least, we are so excited to host our first online Members Award celebration on the 30th of October. Don't forget about our online shop that has been launched, and go check it out online. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me stop sharing. I think I'm done. Any questions? What do I have? Will there be any cybersecurity audit training in the upcoming months? The one that we have planned for is the one which is happening from Monday. I'm not sure about other ones in future, but probably we will have ones as part of the post-conference workshop. We normally have those, which will be happening next year between June and August. Arlene, maybe we can come in there in terms of any other training programs that might be on the pipeline. with regards to cybersecurity for those who might miss out on the one that's actually happening this year?
Yes, so in November, December, we would usually put an annual calendar of events together, and we will consider all the certifications, you know, and exam preparation training, and we will load that on our website. So if delegates would like to just keep an eye on the Engage website, all our events will be loaded there. So that's Engage.
Okay.
We'll post the link in the chat.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Any other questions before I hand over back to Arlene? Maybe someone wants to unmute and ask a question. Okay, if no questions, then thank you very much. Thank you. I'm going to hand it back over to Arlene.
Thank you so much, Dr. Cameron. Going once, going twice. Anyone want to unmute and ask a question? Show your camera. Let's see, are you in your pajamas? Okay, no questions. Yeah, the information will be shared afterwards, the slides, and I think we can also share the email addresses for all directors so that you can ask a question after this event if you think of something. So then I'm going to introduce our next speaker. Thank you very much, Dr. Cameron. Okay, I'm back. Our next speaker is Jerusha Naidoo. Jerusha is an institutional information officer at Stellenbosch University, dealing with privacy matters as well as assisting with access to information requests. Her office is involved with developing regulations, training, privacy impact assessments, which is very relevant today with consideration of POPIA, and other projects such as the formulation and implementation of data security and reporting measures. She has an LLB degree, so we are in the company of lawyers this morning, be careful what you say, which she obtained from the University of Pretoria, and she was admitted as an attorney at the Cape High Court. She was introduced to the ISACA South Africa chapter in 2018, and she started volunteering for the chapter in 2019 on the Education and Scholarship Committee. She currently volunteers on the Academic Relations and Education Committee. She resides in Cape Town and since 2009, and she calls Stellenbosch home. She enjoys reading, spending time near the mountain and the ocean, and she believes that this has a calming effect on the body and mind. She enjoys training facilitation and the knowledge exchange between the younger and older generation. We have a mix of delegates today between those who are practicing professionals for a long time and those who are up and coming in their careers. So I'm sure she's going to stimulate the conversation today and keep the conversation going between the younger and older generation. And then I love the last sentence of her bio, which says she believes everyone was created for a purpose and should live life to the full purposefully. So with that, I'd like to hand over to Jerusha.
Thank you, Arlene. Thank you, colleagues and participants. I'm going to start sharing my screen, and then we can just start the presentation. Okay. Are you able to see what I'm sharing, please?
Not the screen yet. Jerusha, we see your camera and we can hear you clearly, but we don't see
Okay, on my side it says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Okay.
So someone might please need to give me some access.
Okay, I think you're co-host now.
Okay, let's try.
Again.
There we go. Let's see. Wow. Is that good?
That's good. Then, yeah, slideshow. Perfect.
Awesome. Let's do that. Fun being in technology. Okay, let's just admit that person. Welcome everyone this morning to this presentation. You'll see that it's covering quite a mouthful of topics. So I've just called it Tips for our Job Seekers. As Arlene very kindly introduced me, my name is Jerusha Naidoo. I am a young professional, or I like to think of myself as a young professional. So let's see what we have in store today. Oopsie daisy. Okay, so we're going to start off with tips for writing a good CV, and obviously with the emphasis on being security conscious, specifically, you know, cyber security conscious. Please be well aware that, you know, there are certain people out there who are very dishonest. So when you do see a job spec for yourself, please do a proper due diligence. So please do check things like when you submit your CV to a company or to an HR person or someone purporting to be from a recruitment agency, you know, please just check that you secure your documentation so that you don't hand it over to any fraudsters. So some things that I'd like you to please be mindful of are especially, you know, sending copies of your ID or your passports. You know, paying to submit your CV with a company that should immediately set up some red flags for you. Sending a copy of your most recent payslip, especially if it's an introductory position and your current position has nothing to do with the spec that you're applying for. So, for example, at university, I used to sell ice cream at Hatfield Square. That had nothing to do with my law degree. So therefore that payslip should have nothing to do when applying for a position. Also, your biometric data, your image can be used inappropriately. So, you know, it shouldn't necessarily form part of a job requirement unless you are, you know, some sort of influencer or professional model. You could, you know, include a standard stock photo of yourself if you are comfortable, but you should not feel obligated to do this. With regards to social media, yes, please reference our ISACA Community Day. Today, we love to hear your stories and see what you are sharing. But with regards to a CV, you know, please be careful about what information that you publish over there. Because if you publish it on open media, there is a chance that someone could stumble upon it and then, you know, see things that you don't want them to, like your drinking weekend or whatever it is. Okay, so when you are writing a good CV, I'd like you to keep 3 things in mind. Remember, you know, start off with a good cover letter just to introduce yourself to the company, tell them what you're applying for. It needn't be long. It should be, you know, in the same format or a very similar format to your accompanying resume. So keep it maybe 3 paragraphs at most. Later in the presentation, I will, of course, show you an example. And I want us to keep positive. I know that we have had a lot of information today, and sometimes it feels like, you know, there are others that have more experience than you or just seem to land all the opportunities. So let's have a look at this Mark Twain quote that says, "Necessity is the mother of taking chances." So please remember to start circulating your CVs. You have to start somewhere. We have such a learned company here today, and it's so inspiring. But I'm sure if you hear the backstories of Edmore and Muvhango and Dr. Cameron, they will tell you that they did not get to where they are in a day. So just remember your first step. You know, don't just let your CV be in the face of a person. Show them just a little bit of who you are in your covering letter. Now, with regards to a good CV, you must always be honest. Please do not put out any fraudulent details. So if you are studying towards something, please be very clear that you are a first year or a second year or a master's or a PhD. Do not fluff details. That is fraudulent, and you won't get very far. And you certainly will, even if you do happen to land a role, it will come back to bite you in the end. And in this industry, we also work on word of mouth, and your reputation is something that you should prize and you should take care of. So point number one, use some tools. Microsoft Word has, you know, spelling and grammar checks. Please do use them. Check your format for accuracy. You know, you can use the justification to make sure that, you know, your lining on a page is correct and looks very nice to the reader's eye. Oopsie daisy. Go away, Mark Twain. There we go. So only put applicable information on your CV. If you are applying for an IT security role, you want to celebrate and pump all the experience that you have, all your volunteer positions, all your mentorship roles, all your practical experience. You wouldn't want to say, well, you know, this is how good I am with answering the telephone. So keep your CV appropriate. You'll see that I said tailor it to be role specific. So please don't, you can obviously circulate a CV en masse, but if you're applying for a specific role, please keep it specific. And then don't lose opportunities because a digit is maybe missing off your cell phone or your email address is incorrect. Always check those things. It is always good practice to contact your mentors and people that you've worked for or your professors, and to let them know that you are applying for different opportunities. Would they mind being your reference? It can prevent a very awkward situation of someone contacting them and them saying something very unflattering about you, or worse of all, not remembering you at all. So that's just very important information to be aware of. So you can just see here, I've done a template, a very quick template for you on a covering letter. So this is a sample covering letter. And I've put the references for you so that you can go and have a look, play around with some templates that you might need to try and work out what's comfortable for you. Okay, there we go. So with regards to your CV, there isn't a one size fits all, and you shouldn't feel that you have to do it in a certain way unless the company specifically states that you should update your information in a specific way. So here I've just put a sample for you. You can see I went against my own advice just now and I put in LinkedIn and Twitter, but depending on what job you're providing for, or rather applying for, this could be very important information. So this is a little trick I like to do in my bios or in my headers, simply as a header, so that they always seeing your name and your current information. Because as you progress through your certifications with us and through your job career, your CV is going to grow and grow and grow, and oftentimes something might catch their eye, and then they'll know they can contact you in your information right there. So again, this is also from Microsoft Word, this kind of templates. You can play around with your CV with different columns and different headers. Try to keep your the standard format and font sizes that you're using. Don't make this one 14 and then that one 12 and then that one 11, etc., etc. Try to make it as standard and organized and easy to read, because oftentimes when you apply for a position, there are other people also applying, and so you want yours to stand out, but you want yours to stand out in a correct way. Okay, so now we get to the fun part of you finally received the call that you are one of the job applicants. So what does one do? The first thing that I can encourage you to do is be present. When you are attending your job interview, it's often your one shot to make that good impression. So be present, don't let your mind wander. The venue can be quite beautiful or it can be quite awful. Stay focused on your task. You are there to show yourself as the best candidate, so show yourself as the best candidate. And one of the ways that you can do this is by ensuring that you double check your information beforehand. So if you're online, like today is an online event, make sure that you have sufficient data. Peace and quiet. Your background should be uncluttered. If it's an in-person meeting, way back in the day, before COVID precautions, we used to do interviews in person, and I trust that one day we can return to that. Make sure that you're at the correct venue, okay? Some really big offices have satellite offices, and so they might use that as the meeting venue. There's nothing worse than arriving in time for an interview, but being at the wrong place. So do your due diligence. Research adequately on your company or the potential employer. If you can see meeting attendees in the invite list, try and memorize the names and their different roles so that when someone is asking you a question, you already know the background that they're coming from. You should also have very good eye contact, which is a bit difficult for me today because I can see none of you and I can't see me. But pursue eye contact and clarity of thought, clarity of your voice throughout the interview. For those of you that may be second or third language in English speakers, that should really not be a problem, because if the question is put to you and there's language used that you do not understand, you are well within your rights to say, excuse me, please, could you just elaborate a bit more on that question? Okay, you're interviewing as much as they are. So I've put some helpful tips for you from the Balanced Careers. They have some sample questions for you that you should work through. Remember, the interview is not the place for you to practice your interview. Practice beforehand. So for your job interview, remember that your outfit, how you present yourself physically also does play a role. Your outlook, that is your attitude, is very, very important. And also remember to observe. Observe what is going on in the room. Observe a person's tone towards you. Do your research effectively to check that you are well prepared for your interview. Have one or two questions of your own for the company, just so that they know that you actually are interested. And also you might not understand everything about the role, or the role may be misnamed. That would be a very good time to sort out any confusion. Okay, internships. This is a very, very important one because often internships are not paid, which means you would need to consider for yourself where you are going if this is something that you need to pursue. And if you're going to pursue this, how is this going to affect your work-life balance? So you need to adequately pursue growth opportunities. You know, internships are very, very helpful. They are practically engaging in that you get a sense of an organization before being committed to them. But the question you need to ask yourself is this necessary for me and for my growth? So if one looks at the definition of internship, we see that one of the definitions given is the position of a student or trainee who works in an organization, sometimes without pay, in order to gain work experience or satisfy requirements for a qualification. So you should distinguish these internships from something like a candidate attorneyship or mandatory articles. But it is a necessary, I almost said a necessary evil, but it is necessary in the current context that you start working towards your goals whilst you are studying. It will really pay off for you in the end. There's a lovely quote by Martin Luther King that says, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Now, regarding job searches, timing is important and timing is key. So we heard a little bit earlier on from Dr. Cameron and Muvhango and from Edmore about the processes into becoming these IT security specialists. In some of these instances, it is going to take years for you to get where you need to go. When I was a first-year LLB student, there was no ways that I could apply for any role that required me to be an admitted attorney. Okay, but it didn't mean I couldn't do my research on potential companies that I wanted to join and also find out from when were they accepting applications of articles. Is it from second year? Is it from third year? Is it only in final year? Do they have work-based programs? What sort of experience can I have? So I encourage you to go and do your own research. You know the fields that you want to apply into. So Google and find your own little hit list, compile your own list, and see if they do request CVs, or find out if they have an HR division and, you know, send a CV. But again, before you send that unsolicited CV, make sure that your covering letter and your accompanying CV is up to date, it's accurate, it puts you in the best possible light. Build relationships with people within the industry. We've spoken a little bit earlier about mentorships and volunteer positions. Work with each other, work across universities, make friends, network where you can. Talk to people. People can be very nice if you actually talk to them and they want to share their experience with you. So don't think that someone might automatically snub you off. There's always an opportunity there and they may want to actually talk to you. Ask for referrals. Be very intentional when you ask for a referral. Say what it is for. Say what your interests are. Use that opportunity to again network and say, if I can circulate my CV with you, is that in order? Use social media. Be active. Look for opportunities. Ask people to you know, share that you are looking for activities via word of mouth or just sharing your post. So in conclusion, Alexander Graham Bell states, when one door closes, another opens. But we often look so long and so regretfully upon the closed door that we do not see the one which has opened for us. Always have hope. Always try for new opportunities. The job that you're looking for might not even exist yet. And lastly, I want you to have a look at this diagram of success, what most people see and what most people don't see. All the best to you, applicants. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jerusha. That was wonderful. Thank you very much. If there are questions for Jerusha, you are welcome to unmute yourself or to ask your questions in the chat facility. So it's just so important. I'm busy recruiting. I find myself in the recruiter's seat at the moment, and I received 314 CVs last week for one position. The tips and the hints that you've given us today is so important, because as a recruiter, to filter through 300 CVs is quite daunting. So when you see a spelling error or you see an inconsistency, you know, you often overlook a potentially good candidate. So I think it's so important what you've shared with us today. Thank you so much. Just checking.
Thanks, Arlene. I don't think there appears to be any questions at this time. So let's say going once, going twice. Everybody just wants to get to the lucky draw. It's fine.
Okay. Right. So we will share details, contact details for the for Jerusha as well, and also the presentation slides. But thank you very much, Jerusha, for the presentation today. Then I will now introduce Mohammed Osman, and he will speak to us about membership and benefits. Mohammed is currently an IT audit manager within the retail sector in South Africa. He has over 14 years experience in IT advisory and consulting, which include general IT controls, application controls, information security, data privacy, cloud, cyber, project governance, and data analytics. He is also the regional director for ISACA South Africa. He was the regional director for ISACA South Africa Western Cape, and he's currently the marketing and membership director. He holds a BCom degree and he is CISA certified. Mohammed, welcome, and over to you.
Thank you, Arlene. Thank you for that introduction. And yeah, I'm proud to also mention that, you know, I've also got my CDPSE certification recently. So yeah, I'm going to, I know everybody's getting a bit hungry. It's almost lunchtime, so I'm going to try and keep this as short as possible. I'm just going to share my screen quickly. Eugene, can you make me co-host, please?
Okay, Mohammed, I think you're co-host, so you can try again.
There we go. Everybody see that?
Yes, we see your screen. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to just give everyone an overview of the membership benefits that ISACA provides, right? And people may ask, okay, so why ISACA? And, you know, Edmore and Muvhango touched on this briefly earlier on. And as a global profession and professional association, right, ISACA serves more than 145,000 professionals across 188, I think it's now 200 countries worldwide. We serve high-performing professionals, you know, and specifically now with the need for digital transformation. You know, ISACA provides the platform that requires, you know, inspiration and confidence to all of the professionals, and also helps the organizations together with the professionals serving in those organizations to enable those innovation in a fast, digital and changing world, okay? Over and above that, we offer a whole library of resources to all of the professionals, and you know, within the professional we have subject matter experts that have dedicated their entire professional careers to learning and progression, to help people in the profession stay up to date and keeping up with trends with specific relation to information and technology. Today, professionals, technology industry spans across IT governance, IT controls, IT risk, information security, data privacy, and ISACA helps those professionals to actually assist their organizations in managing all of those different type of risks, at the same time helping them to enable their different strategic objectives. Okay. Muvhango and Edmore touched on this, our different certifications. So we've got our CISA, CISM, C-Risk, C-Gate, the CSXP, which is the cyber practitioner, the more recent one, the Certified Privacy Solutions Engineer, our COBA 2019 foundations, and our cybersecurity. I must also mention that, because the world is changing and we are moving toward digital transformation, as part of the ISACA international strategy, there's also going to be additional certifications considered in the future to make sure that the different certifications are relevant to the technology and the age we are actually living in at the time. Okay, why do we actually need to get those certifications? What is the benefit? What is the advantage of it? And one of the key things that I've highlighted here is that, it boosts our hiring and career growth and earning potential. So if we are to apply, coming out of our students, or if we've just graduated, having an ISACA certification actually boosts your ability and boosts your, potential to actually achieve your desired and your actual job that you're actually looking for. It enhances your professional credibility and recognition. Okay, in South Africa, what is our membership breakdown? So currently we have 2,372 members in South Africa. As you can see from the stats I've got on the left here, we've got majority of that is the CISA certification, which is your IT audit specific, specifically for your IT audit professionals, people in the technology advisory. We've got 1,209 certifications on CISA, C-Risk, which is on your risks and IT risk side, and enterprise risk as well. We've got 270. Our information security specialists and information security managers, we've got 354. Our C-Gate, focusing more on the IT governance aspect, 171. And our cyber, obviously, it's growing. From the CSXP practitioners, we've got 6, and CSX 36. And our new one that was recently launched by ISACA International, we've currently got 50, and that's growing at a quite rapid rate. The interesting thing about the CDPSE, if you do meet the current qualifying criteria, there's an early adoption to earn the CDPSE certification. If the current early adoption is running up till March next year, and there's no need to actually write the exam, provided that you currently hold either one of the other certifications, so either your CISA, C-Risk, CISM, C-Gate, and if you have the relevant experience, you can apply to get certified. I think the current cost for the CDPSE certification is about $600. Okay. So our membership overview. So what are the different types of membership that ISACA has to offer, right? We've got our professional membership. So those people that are, professionals, they've been in the industry for a long time. And the biggest advantage for them is to actually gain competitive edge as an active, informed professional in the industry. It allows us, by being a member, we get to keep ahead of trends, new and upcoming certifications, networking, and volunteer opportunities. And how does this add value? Because as we all know, technology is evolving. There's different technologies being invented. We're living in an innovative and digital era. And the ISACA Head International, they provide us a whole library of resources for us to gain insights into how to manage those risks, how can organizations respond to those risks, how can we put in effective controls. And there's a whole lot of library of information. We have multiple newsletters, multiple infographics that's done on a monthly and sometimes even on a weekly basis. For recent graduate memberships, there's the opportunity to expand your network and actually network and connect with seasoned professionals, and also network to identify maybe potential career opportunities for yourself. and get additional credentialing over and above your diploma or degree, multiple volunteering opportunities to enhance your network capabilities, and also, as Edmore mentioned, and Muvhango as well, in terms of, getting and adopting your mentorship programs. For students, people that are studying, there's the opportunity to join in the ISACA's, the community of professionals who are subject matter experts in various branches of the technology industry. You get the opportunity to volunteer, 4 different chapters, 4 different other professional bodies as well. And you also have opportunities to earn free training depending on the type of training, the type of workshop, the type of conferences, and you get specified and special discounted rates because you're students. And back when I think, when I was a student in university at the time, to gain any exposure into any professional always had a major impact on the CV when you actually apply for your first professional job. And being part of ISACA can actually add a very, you can come as a highly recommended professional or recent student graduate once you completed your degree. The different types of membership levels. So we've got the bronze level, which is 3 to 4 years. If you've been a continuous member of ISACA for 3 to 4 years, you get to earn the bronze level. Your silver, which is 5 to 9 years. Your gold, 10 to 14 years. And your platinum, if you're a continuous member for 15 years and over. What does that mean? How does it actually benefit you? You get special monthly offers on featured resources and publications. So for example, if there's a new publication on artificial intelligence or machine learning or cloud. These are all the new technologies that are being adopted and implemented in organizations. ISACA offers, depending on the type of membership level you have, you get early bird information around managing and implementing good controls in your specific career path and profession. You get previews of all of those, free access to exclusive ISACA content and videos, opportunities to earn additional CPA hours to maintain your certifications, and you also get special gifts and special VIP events on international and local conferences. So what are the membership costs? So ISACA has maintained their professional membership at $135 for seasoned professionals, plus the local chapter fees. So how it actually works is you get a set bill from ISACA International, and depending on which chapter you belong to, so currently we are in the South African chapter, our professional fees are $135 plus our local chapter fees, which is $50. And depending on how many certifications you have, certifications on average $40 per certification, $45, sorry, per certification. And that's required to be renewed on an annual basis. For recent student graduates, it's currently $68 plus your local chapter fees. And for students, it's discounted even further at $25 plus your local chapter fees. There are specific initiatives within the local chapter, so the South African chapter. So if you're a recent student graduate or a student membership, there are other initiatives where you can further engage with the chapter to see if you can qualify for sponsored membership. So please get in touch with the ISACA office or one of the ISACA directors to see how you can qualify to become either a student or recent student graduate membership. So what are the membership benefits on a high level? So I'm gonna go, so we have the 3 main membership benefits is access. So you can unlock your access to a whole professional network. While some of those benefits include global ability to register for global conferences. There's a career center now on the ISACA International website. So if you're somebody that's looking and pursuing a career in the technology profession, ISACA International has a careers website where you can apply for positions across the globe. We have career fairs, there's the Engage community where you can, discussion forums where if you're having issues or if you're having challenges in resolving certain issues within your organization, or if you require additional insights, as an example, specific, cybersecurity, if you've got a specific cybersecurity issue or data privacy issue, ISACA offers the platform where you can engage with other professionals and subject matter experts in terms of how can we actually resolve those issues within the organization. Okay, we've got training and events across the country and also internationally that ISACA that you can register for. Most of them and also webinars, thought leadership to enhance your soft skills and leadership development. We've got our annual She Leads Tech, promoting women in leadership roles. And the ability to grow, refine, and recommend best practices to advance the IS industry. So you can also publish, as students, you guys are continuously involved in research. You have the ability to publish some of your your research that you've done on the ISACA that's going to add value to members and professionals in the industry. Savings, and this is something that most members, even our seasoned professionals, are actually not aware of. We have advantage savings for global and local savings on hotels, technology, and more. So if you're traveling internationally, you have specific discounts on hotels, on traveling, on flights, on other training events. You get special discounts on the registration for exam and exam preparation content. You get additional conference discounts, access to free webinars, access to multiple hours of free CPE hours to maintain your certifications. There's a new member program adoption where you can qualify for specific discounts and actually get special gifts if you bring in additional members to the ISACA community, and you get access to, so for our IT audit and IT security professionals, if you need to perform in-depth analysis and audits on a specific environment, there's a multiple resource and library of actual audit programs to guide you in terms of assessing those different environments and provide recommendations that's going to add value to the organization. Okay, and over and above that, to stay relevant, there's always going to be new audit programs, new technology, new insights that's going to offer benefits to all of the professionals across, internationally as being part of the member of ISACA. Knowledge, I've touched on it before, so you get free previews, ISACA journals that gives you trends and analysis in terms of, trends, insights into the different technologies, different risks, different controls, access to webinars, not just locally, but you also get access to a whole resource of webinars from international and local speakers, white papers and publications, audit and audit programs that I've touched on, ISACA newsletters. There's the new COBIT, so those of you who are familiar with COBIT, that offers, the best practice framework for adopting technology within organizations, cyber publications, practical case studies, and online demand courses. Okay, and that's me on the membership.
Thank you so much.
Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you so much. If you would like to unmute yourself and ask the question, or you're welcome to use the chat. All right, if there's no questions for Mohammed, we will share the slides.
Yeah. If there's any questions by any of the attendees, please feel free to contact me or contact one of the other directors and or the office as well, and then we will be glad to assist you guys. Okay. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the afternoon, everybody.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. All right. Okay. So, back. Okay. So next on the agenda is, drum roll please, is the lucky draw prizes. So at this point, I'd like to ask Eugene May, who is our education and training coordinator, just to come to the fore and share with us who our winners are for the day.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us. So we have 3 lucky winners. So there's 2 from our social media. That is Cornelius Goosen as well as Palesa Mango. And then we also have on our social, we also have Livhusha Shai. Congratulations, you all have won this beautiful ISACA branded cup, a beautiful cap, ISACA branded cap, and you also won yourself a 150 Rand online shop voucher, or ISACA shop voucher. I'm also encouraging everybody to please go on our online shop and have a look at the items that inventory that we have, and do feel free to purchase any of our items. Congratulations and thank you. Yeah, over to you, Arlene.
Thank you very much, Eugene. So I would like to thank the organizing committee for today. I think there are many who have operated in the background to make today possible. So I just want to acknowledge Robin Williams, who took the lead in organizing the events today, as well as Eugene for the work that is done in the office, together with Henri, our marketing coordinator, and Esther van der Walt, our office manager. And then I would like to thank the Board of Directors and the Academic and Education and Relations Committee for their participation in this event, Mohammed, Marketing and Membership as well. Without all of you, this event would not have been possible. So thank you for your time and sacrifice and preparation today. And then I also just want to thank each and every one of you for attending on a Saturday. It really shows your passion and your commitment. We actually looked at the stats and it's sort of half-half in terms of student attendees versus practicing members. So for the students who are new in their careers and starting their journey, please reach out to the chapter, you know, volunteer and get involved, because this is how you build your network and you start your career with your network. And then to the practicing professionals, I want to tell you that I'm doing a leadership course at the moment, and thank you, Gavo. Welcome. Hello. So I'm doing a leadership course at the moment. I think we can all put on our cameras. Come on, let's all put on our cameras. Everybody. There we go. Participants, I don't see you. Eugene, please stand by with the camera. It's nice. Okay, I'm waiting for the delegates to please put on your cameras. Ah, Zunaid, welcome. Really nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining today. Those who are not with their cameras on, I hope it's not because you're still wearing your pajamas. Nice, good. Let's get a nice big group photo.
Now, Arlene, the weather in Joburg today calls for that day in bed, the whole day. So I won't blame anyone.
There's actually some attendees from London as well. So
Oh.
Okay, is this everyone? No more cameras? No one brave enough? Say Jerusha, caution favors the brave.
I'm sure that was Dr. Cameron, not me.
Oh,
So Riaz is from London. Riaz Jacobs, is he from London?
Yes, I saw that in the stats that there were 6% of attendees from London.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Very nice to see you. Welcome, everyone. So Eugene, please take a nice photo for us. Thank you very much. Just looking down at my notes. Oh yes, we must introduce the winner of the My Pet and Me competition. So now remember that we were doing this event and we were also doing a My Pet and Me competition, and we received some amazing entries. I mean, people have some tigers as pets and some have sheep and chicken, and I mean, it was very interesting, but we have a winner. Our winner is Aluwani Kumo Livhusha. And the what we said we would do.
Arlene, do you want to share? Do you want to share the winning picture? Arlene, do you want to share the winning picture?
I don't have the winning picture. We just have a poster of the. We just have a poster which I can quickly just. We just have. There we go. So that's our My Pet and Me competition winner. We'll post the banner on social media. But yes, thank you very much for joining today. It's really nice to see you. Snape, Tabiso, Johan, anybody, would you like to say a few words? Anything in terms of feedback for the chapter, things we must do next time, topics you'd like to hear from us? Anything?
Thanks for all the good work as always. Always interesting, and keep it up.
Thank you, Zunaid. Anybody else brave enough?
Honestly, I'm very curious to see the person whose little fingers belong to. Oh, cute.
That's our youngest member.
That's our youngest member. That's very nice.
Well, thank you everyone for joining today. We are also doing some charity work with animals next week. So on the 9th of October, we're going to Puppy Haven, which is in Pretoria. And then there's another venue in Cape Town. So if you want to go from the ISACA Midrand office or from the Cape Town office to join us with some more Community Day activities, you're most welcome next week Friday. And then we'll see you at the next event. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll be in touch with the presentation slides and the CPEs. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Cheers.
Bye. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yes.